Good afternoon. It's Sunday, a week before 4th of July, and we're back on the Pontiac Sunfire. Today I hope to finish it off. I've already showed you how to fix the gear shifter on it, so you can shift it. But today we're going to go after the gauge cluster. As you can see, the gas gauge is pegged way down there. Nothing works on it except for the temperature gauge. So we're going to replace it, and to replace it we got to pull this whole dash assembly apart. I'm going to try my best to show you how to do it. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but you know, we're going to work on it together. Now the first thing I would recommend for you to do is to take this cover off here. It just pops off. Mine come off real easy because the sun's got a little damage, as you can see here. So the dash is a little damaged from it. What I would do, first thing you need to do is take this screw off right here. That would be the first thing I would do. Try not to lose your screws. And I'm just going to put all my screws right down here in the hole. That way, actually, I'm going to put them here in the cup holder. That way I know where they're all at. Next thing you want to do is you want to come over here, take this part apart. Kind of hard to do this with one hand. Okay, after you get the screw out, just kind of grab a hold of it and give it a firm pull. It'll come right out. That's all you need to do. For that side, let's go over here to the passenger side. Yeah, another one over here. Same principle. Just grab a hold of this thing right here. Pull it off. Now we got a couple here. We need to take this piece off. So you need to take these screws out here. There's two of them here. Now once you do that, you should be able to just pull this out. Pull it out. That's all it holds is in two little screws. And them things right there, they fit right into the little holes right here. Alright, well there's the radio system. If you ever want to replace the radio, that's the way you do that trick. Now, as you can see, I got some screws going across here. There's one here, one here. There's something over here. Looks like I'm going to have to go get me a socket for that one. And I'm sure there's one on the other side too. Give me a second here, let me get this taken care of. So this whole thing is about finding screws. So you take those off. This is a metal rod, piece of metal here. You take that off out of the way, put it down out of the way, and see we got more screws here. Now let's go all the way across this. Let's get takeoff. Okay, so we've done about all that. Now the reason why I had you take off this one Phillips screw head up here, get that out of the way, is because you got to take this cover off. The way you do that, it just kind of pops off. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Just kind of give it a firm pull. Sometimes it comes right off, sometimes it don't. Sometimes you gotta get a little creative with it. See, we gotta go through here and get all these screws up here. These little things right here. And there's probably 6 or 7 of them are going across here that we gotta get off. Now there's a couple ways you can do this. If you look at this bolt right here, you can get a, what is it? I believe it's a 7mm socket on it, or you can get the torque heads for it. Me, I'm kind of lazy. If you know me at all, if I can bring out my air tools, I'm definitely going to bring out air tools to do the job. Not jacking around. I don't have all day. I've been working on cars too long to be wrenching all day long with a wrench. Not when I can come through here with air tools and be done quick. Kind of hard to do this one-handed, but as you can see, air tools just make things so much quicker and easier. And that's the way to do it. Okay, after you get all the screws out of it, just want to kind of play with it a little bit. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get out of there. Make sure you got all the screws out. You do not want to break this or rip it apart. There's the dash pad. Do not remove, do not puncture, do not place any objects on this protective airbag cover. That's your airbag. That right there. Whatever you do, do not play with that thing, because it will go off. And if it goes off, you're gonna wish it wouldn't have. Okay. Here's the speedometer gauges. Looks like it's got 2 screws, one right there and one right there. Let me get those off. Once you get them 2 screws off, just give it a good firm pull. Should come to you. You might have to wiggle it around a little bit. There it is. Don't pull too hard though, because you don't want to break it, because you got to get this clip off back here. One bad cluster out of the way. All right. That ain't gonna stay, piece of shit. All right, the new cluster. All you gotta do is just repeat it. Repeat the process that you did to put it back together. Hold on a second here. Let me put it up here. Let me get it clipped in here. When you plug it in, you'll probably hear a little noise come out of it. It's a good thing. You see, it's got these little nipples here that go in that hose right there on both sides. Just set them in there, give it a little push in there. Okay, it's in there. Now we're gonna start this thing and see if the gauges come alive. Always do this. Don't ever just put it all back together and then start the car up and see if it works. Do this first. Well, the gauges are moving. Hold the tacks up. I would say we got a good working cluster. Tack's working, gauge is working. We're gonna let it run here a minute, make sure temperature gauge comes up. But I would say this thing works. I would say it's all good. Well, the gauge over here is starting to move. Let it warm up a little bit. Come back, make sure she moves. Alright, as you can see, most definitely the temperature gauge is working. Tack's working, gas gauge is working. I'd say we got a good deal. Now you gotta do is just repeat all the process you just did. Okay, as you can see, the gauge is absolutely moved. So now we get the fun thing of putting it all back together. Now, in all honesty, this took me about 20 minutes to tear apart. It probably wouldn't have been so long to tear all this apart, but you know, trying to hold a camera and trying to videotape and trying to do it, it took a little longer than I thought it would. But please, please, if you do this job, do not mess with that. Period. Do everything you can to avoid it. Do not want to hear about somebody getting hurt because they had their face right up on it and that thing exploded. Because it will hurt you bad. Alright. As you can see, got it all back together. The only thing that was bad about this dash is this piece right here. As you can see, like I said before, the sun's gotten a hold of it and it's warped it. So, been a good time to replace the dash pad if you went to a junkyard and got another one. Now, this whole thing took about 30 minutes to do. I've called around to different shops here in town to see what they would charge to do that, just to give me a reference. And they were between $300 to $400 just to do that. And I bought that gauge set for $45 from the local junkyard. 30 minutes worth of work, $45. All you need is a Phillips screwdriver and a 7mm socket. And that's it.
What are you doing?
Now I guess it's time to sell this thing. I still got to vacuum it out. If you can see up here, I don't know if you can see by this camera, but it's pretty cloudy out here. So I'm gonna try to get it vacuumed and get it cleaned up so I can put for sale on it.
What are you doing?
And my cute little great niece came over to visit me. Wave to the people. Wave to the people. She's such a cutie pie. All right, thank you. You know what to do. Like and subscribe.